Shalom, shalom.
Shalom.
And first and foremost, we'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Kakwadash. Come on the side, Apostles, Great Millstone. Citations to the Akim on the four corners of truth, sincerity, love, diligence, respect, fear, and trembling. All right, it's like Tazawan. It's like Tazawan with the brother Lamad. And yeah, we all about getting the views, downtown. We're gonna do this walk and talk with the Spirit, probably how about Shemel Shiloh, what is edifying. I got a list of scriptures, they're not in any particular order, but maybe we'll use some, maybe we won't. But basically, the thought of this lesson is dealing with what's going on in Babylon the Great, what's going on in the world, and prophecy is manifested. You see, in fact, it happened. Okay, the most important thing you could be doing now, if you're claiming to be an Israelite, and you got a platform, and you're in a camp, whether you're a leader, right, a teacher, the most important thing to do is prophesy. Okay, because the prophecies will prove and show who are the true men of the Lord. Okay, prophecies will show who's really sent by Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Now, there's a lot of groups out here. There's a lot of camps out here. You even got a lot of renegades out here who's claiming to be teachers. But if you're not coming from the biblical prophecies, you're just a false prophet. And we see what's happening with the civil unrest, or you can't even really call them too much of a civil unrest. They're just riots and commotions, disturbances, uproars of the people, which is prophecy. Second Ezra, the 9th chapter. Okay? So, to measure who are the true men of the Lord and who's the real deal, you would pay attention to what they're saying and what's actually manifesting in the world. You see? We've been speaking about uproars and rumors of the people. We've been speaking about the mark of the beast, the charagma. We've been speaking about World War III. All right? Which ultimately will be the end all be all. All right? Signs of the Lord's coming on the Lord's return. So, who are the true prophets of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai? In fact, before you get Habakkuk, jump to Revelation 19 and 10.
Revelation chapter 19 and verse 10. And it reads, "And I fell at his feet to worship him. And he said unto me, See thou do it not. I am thy fellow servant, and of thy brethren that have the testimony of Yahushua. Worship the Most High, for the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy."
So, the testimony of Yahushua is the spirit of prophecy. So, to be in the spirit of the Most High and His Son, you have to prophesy. Get 42 and 9. Isaiah 42 and 9.
This is the book of Isaiah chapter 42 and verse 9. And it reads, "Behold, the former things are come to pass,
Right?
and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them."
Right. So you can link that up with Amos, the 3rd chapter, and the 7th verse. The Lord revealeth His secrets unto the servants, the prophets, who art this way. Okay? So it says, old things have I declared, and new things. Now reread that again, I'm sorry.
Back in Isaiah
42 and 9.
42 and 9. And it reads, "Before the former things are come to pass, and the new things do I declare."
Yeah, the former things would be the old prophecies that were spoken of in certain periods. Like, I always make mention of 70 AD was an old prophecy that came to pass. That was in Deuteronomy that was spoken about first. Okay?
In Matthew 24.
Yep, Yahweh Shai spoke about 70 AD, in which that prophecy came to pass. Deuteronomy 28:68 prophecy. You know, that came to pass. The so-called Negroes, the South, Judah, Benjamin, Levi, that came here on ships. Okay, that was a prophecy. That was a formal thing that came to pass. But it says, new things do I declare. The new things would be the uproars of the people, the civil unrest that's happening, the mark of the beast, earthquakes in diverse places.
Kingdom against kingdom.
Yeah, kingdom against kingdom. Yep. Things that we are actually witnessing right now today. Ultimately, it's Yahushua return. Okay? So, go ahead.
Before they spring forth, I tell you of them.
So, before they come to pass, the Lord gives that message to his prophets. This would let you know who is truly sent from the Lord. Because they're well, quite frankly, because it's coming to pass. Real quick, go to Revelation 1:1.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1 and verse 1. And it reads, the revelation of Yahushua Mashiach, which the Most High gave unto him, to shew unto his servants things which must shortly come to pass.
See that? You see that? So, the revelation, the prophecies was given unto the servants for things that must surely come to pass. Now, the question is, what are these other camps speaking about that are coming to pass? What I want to know, what are they talking about when it comes to this uproars of the people that's going on right now? Because you got a lot of Israelite camps out here that are not prophesying. You got a lot of Israelite camps out here that are indulging with the spoils of Babylon, America. They're indulging in the things of this life. It says the cares of this world. Is it Luke where it speaks about the surfeiting? Yeah. That's why the scripture tells us that we have to watch. We're watchmen. What are we watching for? We're watching for the prophecies. 2nd Ezra, the 9th chapter spoke about measure the time diligently in itself. Okay, the measurement is seeing the prophecies come to pass, and we're reporting on those things, so we can basically give those warnings that the Lord is going to return. There's going to be events that happen before His return, and we're getting very, very close to the end. You got it?
Yep.
Go ahead.
This is the book of Luke, chapter 21 and verse 34, and it reads, and take heed to yourselves, lest at any time your hearts be overcharged with surfeiting.
Yeah, surfeiting is basically a state of drunkenness. Okay?
And drunkenness and cares of this life.
Mm-hmm.
And so that day come upon you unawares.
See, so that day will come upon you unawares. So, meaning be sober, be vigilant, be circumspect, watch. Okay? A watchman has to stand on a tower. And that watchman is supposed to see in a far distance on the things that's coming into the castle, to the kingdom. You know, they got to be on alert. So they're watching for the enemy. So we're telling you that the enemy is coming, but everybody thinking everything is a goddamn joke.
Right.
We're telling you that the enemy is coming, but you got Israelites doing podcast shows. You see, we're telling you that the enemy is coming, but you got Israelites wanting to be celebrity Hebrews, you know. We're telling you that the enemy is coming, and niggas is doing shows concerning marriage,
Right.
shows concerning a financial world of goodness. What was that he said he was a counselor?
Oh, yeah.
You know, marriage counselor.
Marriage counselor.
Yeah, marriage counselors and things like that. You know, focus on building in Babylon, building new churches in Babylon.
They completely go against what the Lord has the Lord's will.
Yeah.
You know. Well, what you're supposed to do as a watchman, I'll say it like that. Okay. So we're employed by the Heavenly Father and His only begotten Son.
Yeah.
By the powers of the all creation, we were we were sent to do a job. If I can read this.
Yeah, go ahead.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3 and verse 17. And it reads, Son of man, I have made thee a watchman unto the house of Israel.
Right.
All right. It says, therefore, hear the word at my mouth and give them warning from me. So this is a commandment the Lord's telling us. If you understand, the Lord bless you to understand who you are. He's employed you to be a prophet, and you so-called claim yourself to be a prophet. You're supposed to say these things that's coming, which is the warning. You're supposed to warn from the Lord, because this is the Lord must have everything coming.
And he said, warn them from me. So the message has to be from the Lord and not your own message.
That's right.
You see? Once again, I said it again. So like the message has to be from the Lord. He's the one who's giving that message. So to know that it's from Yahweh Shemashah not is if the message is contrary to what's written in the scriptures. It says to reveal unto the servants things which surely shall come to pass. Now, when that mark of the beast come to pass, I want to know what you guys are going to do. You see? Because the scripture tells you that get that in wisdom and knowledge should be the stability. And these are, really basic, simple precepts, foundational understandings. How can you identify a true prophet? First and foremost, they got to stick to the name. They got to be out in the highways and byways, and they got to have the right doctrine.
Right.
And most importantly, they have to prophesy, meaning they have to say before. Who's been speaking about these the hell that's coming to Babylon? Who's been speaking about the Jacob's trouble? We're in the state of Jacob, a small version of Jacob's trouble, beginning with the northern kingdom right now. A lot of it is psyop and stage, but guess what? It's going to intensify.
Right.
They're using the north as an escape, as an excuse to bring in their draconian law measures. You see, so that is very much of a small sign of a Jacob's trouble, because you got kids being taken from their families. You see, you got they out here burdened and stressed out and hiding out.
Yep.
It's some Iscariot stores that ain't even jumping no more because they all scared and shit that ICE don't get them.
Yep.
So they in a state of panic.
Little Melly's closed down. They closed down for a couple of days.
Yeah.
For that reason. Yep.
So people they got the North scared out here, man. Mm-hmm. And then not only that, the propaganda. Right. The propaganda from the news. So they watching the news, terrified, scared to go out. And people's families are getting caught up. So this is a part of a small portion of Jacob's trouble, which is prophecy. But it's going to intensify. We're not saying we ain't in Jacob's trouble. But as a prophet, it says a spiritual man judges of all things. We're judging these things through the spirit on what we see. You got something?
Yep. It's Isaiah 33 and 6. And it reads, and wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times.
Right. So wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. The wisdom and knowledge comes from the Bible. So are you teaching your congregation the true understanding of what's to come so they can be ready for it? See? Go ahead.
And the fear, it's like in strength of salvation. The fear of the Lord Yahweh is his treasure.
Right. Okay. So this understanding and knowledge is going to keep us stable. Get the word stable. Yeah. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. It's going to keep us grounded. Okay. We know what's going to happen, so we're not going to bug out. Okay. It's finna be like a United States wide protest. Just back like I'm sorry, I'm mixing my words. Just like back in 2020, they're finna do like a national wide protest thing. And if they have their Asian provocateurs out there, guess what? It's gonna get ugly where people may get hurt. And then they're gonna really lock down some cities, really put in some curfews. But these are the things that Great Millstone has been speaking about, beginning with our apostle to her own down, and our elder bishops. These are things that we came into the truth listening from 2007, 8, 9, 10, 11, all the way until now. They've never switched the script up. They continuously said the things that was going to happen. And by the way, the Holy Spirit has supped upon us, other men and brothers in these different states, and we have entered into their labors, and we're speaking the same thing. And we can see it. It's manifest. You know? You got something?
Yep, this is from the Hebrew 5:30. It says amanah,
Stability.
yep, and the word stability. It says firmness, fidelity, steadfastness,
Steadfast.
steadiness. You see, because when these things happening, you know, society is going to be unstable.
Yeah.
But you having this wisdom, you're going to be able to move. You're going to have a stable mind to be able to flow through it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're going to have the wisdom and knowledge of to be able to maintain yourself in these times.
Mentally.
Yeah. Yep.
Get a Revelation, what is it, 3 and 10, it says that I will keep thee from the hour of temptation. If you hold fast to this word, that's why it's important to speak the right doctrine. Because the true doctrine that you have, the Lord is gonna the true doctrine that you have, the true doctrine, right? The Lord, if you keep it, if you hold fast to it, in return, the Lord is gonna grant you a strong, steady mind for the times to come that you won't give up. It say the flesh is weak, but what does it say? The spirit is
the
spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
Yep.
You see, so the Lord is going to keep our spirits, our spiritual mind strong for when, because it's going to get real bad out here. You see, so what have you been, for you false prophets out there, who your self-proclaimed teachers? What have you been teaching your congregation that their minds is going to be ready for what's to come? You see? Go ahead.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 3 and verse 10. And it reads, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation.
Read that again.
Revelation 3 and 10, it says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience.
See, you have kept the word of my patience, which is the doctrine. Now, you see a lot of camps out here switching the doctrine up. They're going into saying that there's an eternal hell. You got Genesis remixing all the scriptures, you know. You got Jake saying that man, they've been saying a lot. It's been a lot of different new breakdowns out here, man. You know, the Matthew 3 and 11 it isn't talking about that. You know, they're switching up Ezekiel 38. You know, the Lord is going to be throwing people in eternal fire and shit. Yeah. You know, that's eternal hell where Jake is going to go. You know,
should have told y'all from the beginning when they said that the word of God is not contained in the Bible. What did they say? That bullshit.
Yep. Deacon Ka, or priest of Ka, as he said. So y'all haven't kept the word of the Lord's patience. So what the Lord's gonna do? Go ahead.
It says, because thou hast kept, Revelation 3 and 10 again. It says, because thou hast kept the word of my patience, I will also keep thee from the hour of temptation.
So if you stick to the true doctrine, the Lord is going to keep you from the hour of temptation. And the hour of temptation is the mark of the beast. And this is where we're at. Remember, this is the year, the hopeful year, the hopeful year of Esau's oh my goodness.
I just said it yesterday too, as a matter of fact.
Oh my goodness. Salakia. Hold on. I'm having a brain freeze. Hopefully of Esau's destruction and something else. Goodness gracious. I'm gonna have to edit this out. But but this is the year of Jacob's trouble and Esau's destruction. There we go.
Yep.
Golly.
2 seconds.
Huh.
Hello? Hello.
But yeah, this year is impacted with who's been teaching the right truth.
Okay.
You know,
Thank you. I'll go back.
because the things that have been spoken about, all right, have been coming to pass by the true men of the Lord. Go ahead. What you got? Go to keep
Con. Yeah, that was the job. They just called me in for 16
today.
tomorrow. This is the word keep, and this is in the Greek.
I think Terrero.
Yep.
Yep, Terrero.
It says to attend to, carefully, take care of, to guard,
To guard.
yeah, to observe, to keep one in a state which he is.
See, to keep our minds, man. Keep us in the right state of mind. That we'll be able to resist. We'll be able to resist the temptation, which is the mark of the beast. We'll be able to resist, you know, all of the
All the things that are, well, I say the things that are coming.
Yep.
You know, because if you don't know, if you don't understand the word of the Lord, then you can find yourself making rash decisions.
Yeah, emotional,
Yeah.
crazy decisions.
Yep. And those decisions, if you don't know, like, if it don't come to your head, like, you know what, the Lord said that this was going to happen, you know, you can easily get caught up. Like, I'll put a quick example on how it says, how the scriptures talk about you agree with your adversary while it being in the way with them. See, if you don't have to understand it on just, okay, agree and
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
keep your spirit down, you know, and things it'll work out for you. And you'll find yourself getting your ass beat the fuck up.
Yeah, horrible situation.
Yep.
So in this time, is you finna be out there protesting with these creeps,
Right.
with these dumbass people. You have some Israelite camps going into the protest and trying to protest the ICE shit. Stupid motherfuckers. All right, that's stupid. We ain't supposed to get involved with that. But if you actually understood, you would know to keep yourself away from that type of danger. You know. So how much more when things get intensified, man? You know.
When these famines come, when the sedition is really in your city,
When the insurrections,
the insurrections, yeah.
How are you gonna act? Because you got a lot of guys out here who don't know what there's truth about, and they really not. Now you're supposed to be a shepherd. You're supposed to tend to the sheep, right? So get Ezekiel 13. It says because they have not made up the hedge for the children of Israel to stand in the battle with the day of the Lord.
Yeah, I was thinking about that.
Roughly paraphrasing.
When we first started, to be honest.
Are you equipping your congregation with the true wisdom of the scriptures, the true prophecies of the scriptures, that they'll be able to stand in that day? You know? You can start from verse 1.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 13 and verse 1, and it reads, and the word of the Lord, Yahweh, came unto me, saying, Son of man, prophesy against these prophets, prophesy against the prophets of Israel that prophesy, and say thou unto them that prophesy out of their own hearts, hear ye the word of the Lord, Yahweh. Thus saith the Lord power, the Lord Yahweh Shai our power, woe unto you foolish prophets that follow their own spirit.
Yeah, their own spirit, their own way, like Nate doing a jet setting. You see, like Al-Azhar said, I'm trying to bridge the Israelites in the streets. He said maybe a couple of years ago, we want to bridge the gap between the Israelites and the hood. You see, that's your own fucking thing, man.
Right.
You know? That's your own thing. Lord didn't say to do that, man.
Right.
Lord didn't say make his house of merchandise, what you guys do.
Right.
You know? Go ahead.
It says, woe unto the foolish prophets that follow their own heart, that follow their own spirit, and have seen nothing.
Yep.
It says, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts. Like, this is the what's name one more time.
Your job?
Yeah.
All right.
Hello?
Yeah, so
Okay.
the scriptures say they're like the foxes in the desert. Okay, because a fox in the desert is a very vicious and cruel. See, they're like foxes, they'll pounce on you. That's the mentality of these false prophets, man. And they're doing it by the way of uh, uh, oppressing you in certain ways, you know? They're like the foxes in the desert, man. The scriptures speak about them not healing the sick. They didn't cleanse the disease. Well, I'll tell you to get it, Isaiah 34 and I think 4. But you can finish this up real quick.
Ezekiel 13, and I start at 4 again. It says, O Israel, thy prophets are like the foxes in the deserts.
Right?
Ye have not gone up into the gaps,
Mm-hmm.
neither made up the hedge for the house of Israel to stand in the battle in the day of the Lord Yahweh.
Right. So a hedge is a like a shield, like a force field that the Lord puts over you. Remember, Satan and
I was just thinking
the
that.
Lord, Satan and Yahweh, yep, they had that talk, and Satan said, "You got the hedge off and take the hedge off of him," meaning he was protecting them. See, well, your shepherd, your leader is your protector. He's supposed to tend to that sheep, which would be your teachers, your apostles, and for you other guys, whatever title y'all up under, y'all supposed to know the state of that flock. Y'all supposed to know, and edify your congregation into understanding perfectly what the will of the Lord is,
Right.
and what you're supposed to, do and not do, and how your spirit's supposed to be in line, and giving diligence, and praying and fasting, and it's strictly about this truth. It ain't about nothing else. We're waiting on the Lord, patiently waiting. We got to suffer in this world. We're not getting involved with the madness that's going on. It's going to be a lot of death happening. So with the right teachers and the right understanding, you will have a one up of the curve. Get thy strength is small. You know what I'm about? If thou faint.
Yep. They have adversity.
Yep. Because a lot of guys is gonna faint because they wasn't equipped with the true knowledge. A lot of guys gonna faint, man. Some nice views.
It's the book of Proverbs, chapter 24 and verse 10. And it reads, If thou faint in the day of adversity, thy strength is small.
Yeah, like his. Thou faint in the day of adversity. Yeah, when hell pop off, thy strength is small. See?
I would just put this on vibrate and it's still ringing.
Yeah.
See?
Put it on
If I do not
silence. You have the job again?
Yeah, call it now. No, it's silence. There it is.
Well, but yeah. So if you faint in adversity, your faith was strong. Your faith, goodness gracious. If thou faint in the day of adversity, your strength was small. Okay? But we ain't trying to faint when this hell happens, no? How does it look? How would it look like? Here it is, we've been prophesying for these things to come, and then when it comes, we bitch up.
Right.
No. Get Isaiah 34 and 4, I think.
It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 34. And I'm going to start at 4.
Mm-hmm.
And it reads, And all the hosts of the heavens shall be dissolved.
Isaiah 34? Ezekiel 34.
Ezekiel 34. It's the book of Ezekiel, chapter 34, and verse 4. Yep. It says, The diseased have ye not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick.
Yeah.
Neither have ye bound up that which was broken.
Yeah, that's with the knowledge. You do that with the knowledge, man. And this is what the false prophets didn't do. You see, they didn't heal them. The healing comes by the word. You see, that tells you that in the Apocrypha. They say it wasn't. Oh man, damn, I forgot where it said. It said that oh man, it's somewhere in the Apocrypha. It says about the word heals or something. I think it's in Apocrypha. If anybody, this would be premiering, so if anybody knows it, so you can drop it down.
One of the things that came up in my head, it talks about breaking up the clots in the minds of the people.
Yeah.
You see, the clots is all these, pretty much, all the false doctrines. And, and everything we were brought up on, the bullshit. You're supposed to break that shit up by the way, by the true word.
Yep.
By the true word.
Yep.
Took it right out of my mouth.
Yep.
As soon as I
By the true word of Yahweh Shai, you break the clocks. You sow into them the understanding of what's to come. You sow into them the knowledge of Yahweh Shai's return. And a lot of you guys are not doing that. So what are you going to do when things intensify? What are you going to do when this shit crack up, goes up even more? Because we there. We're very, very close. All right.
When ICE come to your doorstep, or Esau Edom and his
we can spin around.
His military combatants, what are you gonna do when they're taking you? When you don't have no food and you don't have a place to go?
Yeah. When it's in your city.
Right. Hey, don't
and you can't go to work.
Don't.
And your woman bitching about food. What you gonna do?
Right.
Go ahead. My bad.
Hey, no. I was just saying back in that Revelation. It says the hour of temptation will tempt all men.
Yeah.
On the face of the planet. So
everybody getting tempted.
Right. So you ain't. It's not gonna miss you. You gonna have to meet this face to face as well.
Yeah. It said there's no temptation taken such as common to man. You see. But the Lord will suffer you to be tempted above that you are able, will also make a way for you to escape. The only way to escape through this is faith. The only way to escape through this is being predestinated ultimately. But it's that faith. See? Once upon a time, we were called faith-based Israelites. We were mocked at it. We were being mocked, being called, they're faith-based Israelites. This is all about faith. You see? This is all about faith, man.
It's Ezekiel.
Yep.
Ezekiel 34:4. The disease have not strengthened, neither have ye healed that which was sick, neither have ye bound up that which was broken.
Right.
Neither have ye brought again that which was driven away. Neither have ye sought that which was lost, but with force and with cruelty have ye ruled them.
And that's what these guys are doing. You're ruling them with cruelty because you're not giving them the true knowledge. You're ruling them cruelty because your movement, right, quote unquote, your movement is based off of money. Your movement is based off of trends. Your movement is based off the cares of this life. You see? So it's still in a way ruling them with cruelty. You got to make them pay for all of these different memberships and all type of gimmicks and things of that nature. And you're not giving them the true knowledge of Yahweh Shemel Shai. In fact, read John 10. You guys are climbing up a whole nother way, man. And it's going to be found out that some of you dudes are sellouts. See?
This is the book of John, chapter 10, and verse 1. And it reads, Verily, verily, I say unto you, he that entereth not by the door into the sheepfold, but climbeth up some other way.
Keep going.
Yep. But climbeth up some other way. The same is a thief and a robber.
Yep. So if you don't enter in by the door is Yahweh Shai. The Lord is at the door. He said, I stand at the door and knock. Okay? So if you don't come in through the foundation of Yahweh Shai, which a lot of groups out here, first and foremost, don't push the name Yahweh Shai, right? The other guys say that you don't supposed to worship Yahweh Shai. So Yahweh Shai isn't your foundation. You see? So that's it. So you climbing up another way. You climbing up through the window when the door is right there where you're supposed to. You don't. When you go into somebody's house, you don't go through the back door. You don't go through the window. You go through the front door. Well, Yahweh Shai is the front door. Yeah, brother hands. On the 5th floor, coming in through the window and shit. 5th floor. Coming in through the window. You know? Go ahead.
It says, but climbeth up some other way, the same as a thief and a robber. But he that entereth in by the door is the shepherd of the sheep.
Yep.
To him the porter openeth,
Mm-hmm.
and the sheep hear his voice.
Yep.
And he calleth his own sheep by name,
Yeah.
and leadeth them out.
Yep. And that's by the way of the true message. See, the true message is going to lead them out. Calling them by name, so that's predestinated. Those that names were written in the book. You see?
You know that comes with that comes with fear too. It comes with fear. I just thought about this. You know, because you gotta understand, fear is a gift as well. You gotta really fear the Lord in order to do things that you're supposed to do. But,
Knowing the terror of the Lord we persuade men. That's fear.
That's right. Select here, let me. Yeah, if I may real fast. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, Ecclesiasticus or Sirach 1 and 14. It says, to fear the Lord is the beginning of wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
And it was created with the faithful in the womb.
There we go.
So it was already given unto to the men of the Lord.
Yep.
It was already given. And this is before, before you were even born. So the prophets were ordained as
Ordained.
as the scripture said.
Yep.
The prophets were ordained to fear the Lord and warn his sheep.
Yep.
On how this thing was supposed to be done.
Yep. You go back to John 10.
Yep. This is the book of John, chapter 10. And verse 5. It says, and a stranger will they not follow.
Yep. A strange will they not follow, which is a strange doctrines.
But will
See,
flee.
the true elect is going to take heed to what's happening. The true elect, right now, they're going to be watching the news. They're going to be paying attention to what's going on. All right? Besides, you get on these other Israelite group channels, you know, they want to debate if the Trinity is true or not. They're still doing the basis, the Hebrew Israelites, Black and Native Americans. They're still doing these stupid, pointless debates. It's Jesus black and white. We passed that shit. We passed that, man. We were past that. We don't have to prove nothing to these people.
All right.
We're just warning them now.
Right. You got the MOTV is.
We at the end.
Is in full.
We're not proving.
Full-fledged.
Yeah, we're not proving if there's if the Trinity is real or not.
Right.
Now we'll do side missions, so to speak. You know, we'll do lessons on it for edification's sake for new members. You know, but the main focus is prophecy.
Yep. And it is June, and it is a microchip.
Yep. And how ironic is that the Lord, he has a very beautiful sense of humor.
Yeah. Yep.
Because June has became the microchipping month. It's called the microchipping month or something to that effect. So the Lord mocked that nigga, man. It's June, ain't no microchip, but when you look it up, all right, June is for, the month has became the June of microchipping or some stupid shit like that.
Right.
You know?
Back in John 10 and 5, it says, a stranger will they not follow, but will flee from him, for they know not the voice of strangers.
Yep. False doctrines. Go ahead.
It says, this parable spake Yahweh unto them, but they understood not what things they were which he spake to them unto them. It It says, then Yahushua said unto them again, verily, verily, I say unto you, I am the door of the sheep.
Yep.
All that ever came before me are thieves and robbers, but the sheep did not hear them. It says, I am the door. By me, if any man entereth in, he shall be saved.
That's it. So we're going to be saved by the true doctrine of Yahushua.
And
There is a true doctrine out here. Everybody don't have the truth. Okay, you can't. This group can't have a little bit, and this group have a little bit, and that group have a little bit. No, the Lord is dealing with a specific. Oh my bad. Let me keep going this way. The Lord has a specific, specific men out here with a specific doctrine. Okay. Go ahead.
it says, I am the door. By me, if any man enter in, he shall be saved, and shall go in and out and find pasture.
That's right. Pastor is knowledge to understand. See, wisdom and knowledge should be the spirit of our time. That's how we're going to be delivered. Go ahead.
It says, the thief cometh not, but for to steal and to kill and to destroy. I am come that they might have life,
Mm-hmm.
and that they might have it more abundantly.
Uh-huh.
It says, I am the good shepherd. The good shepherd giveth his life for his sheep. But he that is a hireling and not the shepherd, whose own the sheep are not.
Yep. So there's hirelings out here. Okay, it's guys that have been actually literally paid off. All right, that really don't give a fuck about Yahweh Shem outside with the sheep, and they just been their whole thing is to spread false doctrine. Well, it's gonna come to a point where you're gonna see who those true prophets are and who the fake ones are. That's the time we're living in. We're living in that time. We're living in a time of the false prophets being exposed. All right, and the true prophets is gonna be made known by the way of what's in the scriptures, by the way of what's being manifested in the earth. We've been telling y'all it's finna go down. We've been telling y'all that there's gonna be civil unrest. There's gonna be uproars of the people.
Mm-hmm.
You see, we've been saying these things are gonna come. We've been saying that they're gonna potentially lock down these cities. All right,
You still don't believe?
and which will bring in martial law. And martial law brings in the microchip. You see, and on top of that, we have the effect of every vision because you still having war drums brewing up over there with Israel and Iran. You see, with Russia and Ukraine. You see, so we still in the midst of war outside of Babylon the Great, where we having an in-house war.
Right.
You see, so we're really at the end. This is all prophecy. Go ahead.
John 10:14, it says, I am the good shepherd, and know my sheep,
Mm-hmm.
and am known of mine. As the Father knoweth me, even so know I the Father. And I lay down my life for the sheep. And the other sheep I have, which are not of this fold, them also I must bring, and they shall hear my voice, and there shall be one fold and one shepherd. Therefore,
Yeah, that's self-explanatory.
uh,
You're dealing with back in the ancient world, but we can apply it to, the scattered Israelites are waking up, Go ahead.
Therefore doth my Father love me, because I lay down my life, that I might take it again. No man taketh it from me, but I lay it down of myself. I have power to lay it down.
Where you at?
Like 18.
Okay, that's it. I
think it was 14 and
yeah, you ran
15,
past it. Yeah, but yeah, you let it ride.
14 and 15.
But yeah, you got hirelings out here, okay, who don't care for the
We
sheep.
walked around this way?
Mm-hmm. We was on that side.
Yeah, I thought we went that way. We went, long way.
But
They're not properly warning the sheep
yeah,
of Yahweh Shem Shai. And there's a consequence eventually.
consequences. Yep, there's gonna be a consequence. There's gonna be a consequence. for all the false prophets, man. All the false prophets gonna die. All right, and a lot of you guys may go by your own congregation. All right. So are you out here speaking prophecy, or are you out here speaking your own thing? The most important thing right now is prophecy, man. Okay. You got something?
I had two in my mind, but
Well, we'll end it off on that.
Huh.
So, Lord willing, this is edifying. Prophecy is the most important thing right now, man. The scripture says in 2 Ezra, the 15th chapter, speaking to the children of Israel these words of prophecy. You see? He said he was going to leave it into each generation, right? Speaking to my people the words of prophecy, because guess what? The plagues are coming. This is a part of being that watchman. And if you take a man from the coast and you set him up as your watchman, you know, his duty and his job is to warn you that the enemy is coming. The enemy is Esau Edom. Okay? If there's a sword that's going to be done in the land, you're supposed to tell that the sword is coming. Well, that sword is Esau. And here's the kicker: the sword is being swung by Yahweh. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So ultimately, it's the judgment of the Lord. You see? Psalm 17 and 13. Get that real quick. We'll end it with this.
It's Psalm 17.
Mm-hmm.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 17, and verse 17.
13.
13, select it. It says, "Arise, O Lord Yahweh, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword."
See that? So the Lord, so the wicked is being used by Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, who is thy sword.
He said, "Warn them from me,"
Mm-hmm.
as we brought out earlier. So, you know, this is ultimately the will.
The will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai.
Yeah, it's the will. It's the will of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. So if he's telling you, I'm giving you a warning because I'm on my way.
Yep.
And I'm using these people to come. I'm using Esau Edom to go ahead and enact judgment that way upon you, so that I can come and judge him.
Yep. Right. Yep. So if you ain't speaking prophecy, you ain't speaking shit. End of the story. With that, let us give all glory and honor and praises to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Kakadash, Double Ansar, Apostle Great Millstone. Salutations to the actual importance of truth, sincerity, love, diligence, respect, and tribulation. Shalom, Baba Ball.
Shalom, Baba Ball.